Hey guys. Okay, here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to PhoenixTV. This is Dark Knight talking right now, and sound off everybody. Who else is with us?
Vita Leto.
Big Tony.
Phoenix.
And Flo.
And today we're going to start off talking about XCOM. Which XCOM are we talking about today?
We're talking about XCOM Declassified.
Declassified. Okay.
Technically called the Bureau, but still.
Whatever. Big Tony, I think you played that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I also played a little bit as well.
No one cares, right? Big Tony, go.
It wasn't bad. I've never played any of the XCOM games before, but it was it was different. And from what I know, from what I've heard so far about XCOM, is that this is the first time they've ever done a third-person shooter. So it was awkward in the handling and in the movement and things like that. Not what I was used to from working third person on other games. It did have one cool feature that I liked that reminded me of games back in the day, like Republic Commando, when you have a group that you have to like take over to certain places or whatever. I had a guy and I could send him to go do something and kind of distract the target from what I was doing. The other thing I didn't like is I was playing on Commander, which supposedly is the hardest difficulty, and I only died once, and that was only because of my own stupidity, but I couldn't get the thing to do what it was telling me to do. But other than that, the aliens would shoot me and I wouldn't die. And I was expecting Commander to be, super difficult, realistic. If I were to get shot, then I'd be dead.
So you were playing it on the hardest level then, or
yeah, and it really wasn't that difficult. I could get hit 2 or 3 times, and I still wouldn't die.
That is definitely one thing that I completely agree with. That how the game was set up was extremely easy. I mean the tactical command button, at least on the PC with the spacebar, just made it really easy to think about strategically how you wanted to place your units and what abilities you wanted to use, and you could avoid a lot of problems. Really the biggest issue that dealt a lot of damage was grenades, but vice versa. If you used your grenades, you were killing the entire group and moving on to the next group in no time. It really wasn't that much of a problem, and ammunition just seemed everywhere. I love XCOM. I played quite a few of the XCOM in the series, especially Enemy Unknown. Enemy Unknown. And it is a completely different game. But one thing that I do have to say that I don't agree with what seems to be the common opinion in terms of it's not an XCOM, don't call it an XCOM. It definitely... It didn't have the same artistic feel as the other XCOMs had. But it definitely did stay true to the XCOM universe in terms of what it was trying to achieve and the gameplay. It just had a third-person appeal to it rather than a strategy appeal to it.
Blah, blah, blah. Fuck! So how do we feel about the game now we've told about the whole damn thing?
Is it okay? Would you recommend owning it, or is it a renter? Does it have high replay value, or does it just suck altogether?
As somebody who's never played the XCOM series at all, I probably wouldn't suggest it to anybody who hasn't played the other XCOMs. But for the other portion, you'd have to ask Christian, because apparently he's played them.
I say don't buy it unless you're going to rent it. It's nice to have a little extra story, especially the origins of XCOM, but other than that, don't get it. It just isn't enough. There isn't enough to make it worth it.
It's not. As always, it's never enough for you, is it? Huh?
Never enough.
Always complaining.
Always complaining. That's me, though.
Okay. All right, so I guess the consensus is, unless it's free, don't pick it up. Sorry, XCOM. Okay, what's the next game? Wait. Phoenix, you did Saints Row 4.
Yes, me and Flo have been working on the Saints Row 4 Let's Play.
Okay, this game really piques my interest. I haven't played Saints Row. I think I played for a little bit on Saints Row 3. but I don't know a whole lot about the storyline or anything. So go ahead and share with us a brief overview and your thoughts on the gameplay.
Okay, the brief overview of the actual storyline is, forget the storyline. This is not Last of Us. This is not some well-written narrative. This is a game of insanity and craziness, and it's tons of fun. Like it handles just like the third, and they just go even further over the top.
Dude, they have fucking strippers in the White House.
Well, so did Bill Clinton. I don't think. Okay.
Aliens abducting people.
Shout out to Bill.
Yeah. Oh, Billy. All right. Okay. So it went over the top. Storyline doesn't really matter. What is it? Is it just mostly because it's just open world? You can do whatever you want.
More or less. I mean, there is a story, and it seems respectable as compared to the third one. It's not like an abomination of a story, but if you're playing for the story, you're playing the wrong game.
Yeah, this is for blowing shit up, fucking bitches, and killing shit, and cussing, and doing whatever the fuck you want.
But
I have a question, though.
Okay.
A part of Saints Row 4. It seems to be like there's kind of a big battle to see which one's going to be more successful, either Saints Row 4 or GTA 5.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
Without question.
Well, what do you guys? I'm curious because I don't really follow the series at all. So I'm just curious what you guys think it's going to be better or
They're not terrible. That's
They're not?
the whole thing. No, when Saints Row first came out, yes, it was supposed to be a clone of GTA, but it
Saints
was
Row
awful.
1 and 2 were straight
It was
rips from Grand Theft Auto.
so bad that
They're
they went away from that and they created their own game, which is what Saints Row 3 was, I believe. It was more of its own separate identity, and then it had some DLC that was coming out or came out, and it was somewhat good, but then THQ went under. So after THQ went under, then whoever picked it up, I forget who it was, John, maybe you can fill it in there, but whoever picked it up basically took that DLC and made a whole game out of it, and that's what is Saints Row 4.
So again,
it used to be comparable, but it's not comparable anymore.
So do you think that that's what the hard gamers are going to conclude to? But I mean, someone that doesn't really play these games, there's still going to be a battle regardless, simply because of that pass that's there. Now, which one do you think is going to come on top, though, in terms of just overall as a game?
I think it's going to be Saints Row 5 due to the fact it's had its following for how many years? Over a decade now?
Saints Row 5 or Grand Theft Auto 5?
I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto is just too big a machine.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I personally would enjoy Saints Row more because I'm not into the gang warfare stuff, but I know that Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to be solid. Rockstar's been on fire for the past few years. Grand Theft Auto is going to beat Saints Row this year.
Yeah. Okay, so consensus then. What do you want? What do you think? Do we buy it, rent it, borrow it, steal it?
If you can steal it, then you'd be living up to the moniker of this game. But I say at least rent it. It's worth a buy on a discount bin at least. If you can find it for the cheap, it's worth a buy. If you like lightheartedness.
Okay, so just messing around, nothing for the hardcore gamer, just something fun.
Yep, right.
Okay, what about you, Flo? What do you think?
I'd just fucking buy it. I fucking love this shit.
Yeah, okay, should I wait for the all the DLC to come out and they get Game of the Year or whatever, or get the complete version, or just get it now?
I'm not exactly a big fan of I don't think DLC is going to do that much for this game.
No.
It might, but I don't see much DLC out of this, especially since this game is halfway a DLC in itself, so...
Oh yeah, essentially the way it started off was supposed to be DLC for, like you were saying, for Saints Row 3.
I don't know. I've kind of gotten to the point where if there's not a competitive multiplayer, then I'm not really looking to pay full price for a game. That's just how I've been for the last year. That's because you have low self-esteem.
Are you kidding me? So you're not gonna pay full price for Batman Arkham Origins?
Nope.
I ain't buying Batman Arkham Origins anyway.
Fuck no.
It's just, I don't know about it. I've kind of come to the conclusion, especially with how games have been going lately, that you need to at least have a modding community or a competitive community to keep the game striving and the group going, and to create some fun replayability. Just playing the storyline over and over again just doesn't do it after the second or even the third time. It's done by that point.
See, this
Unless
part
it
is
was-
funny. Because if
Go ahead.
Christian was on our very first podcast, he would have totally been all for Batman Arkham Origins and the multiplayer and thought it was really cool and everything because we all thought it was crap. So it's just because you just said that you're all for the multiplayer. And that's what Arkham Origins is. That's what our first podcast was about. And you totally would have been all for it.
The problem is I don't like the multiplayer with any type of the Batman simply because I've seen some of the gameplay, and it's not supposed to be a multiplayer. It's a single-player game. How are you going to input multiplayer in a game like that? It's hard to do.
Oh, it's not hard to do. They failed miserably.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not, sure, you can throw in multiplayer, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good. I'm not saying that just because of multiplayer, I'm going to jump on board with it. I'm saying it needs to be able to match with the game. Whatever they're doing, everything has to flow together somehow. And Batman and multiplayer just doesn't, it's not that type of thing. He's a solo act. You don't put something in with a solo act.
You're a solo act. Okay. On that note, next item on the agenda. Okay, we discovered Warner Brothers is doing what game?
A game called Dying Light. I won't claim this as Warner Brothers. I'll call it Techland all day because this game's better than Warner Brothers.
Okay.
It's a game coming out for current and next-gen systems in 2014. You could call it Dying Light. It's a lot like, Dead Island and Mirror's Edge having a child. Because it's by Techland.
Okay, so it's zombie, you're running away from zombies.
It's free running with zombie fighting, and the zombie fighting is my biggest complaint because it looks just like Dead Island. You didn't need to see a logo to tell this is Techland making this fighting thing. The free running looks decent, though. I'll give them that. And their trailer's awesome because it's, Techland, and they make great trailers.
Yes.
They their trailer single-handedly
minutes of
made Dead
gameplay
Island
today.
a blockbuster game.
I watched about 12 minutes of gameplay today, and the world itself is pretty cool. Like, every choice that you make has a consequence. So, like, you're running around and going to get something, and you hear, like, in the gameplay, it was like a little girl scream. So if you go up and try to help this girl, then basically what happened is he went and helped this girl, found the girl, got her rescued, but then he went up to help the girl, and what happened basically is that he took the time to do that, then he lost time to go do his original mission.
He lost one of the supply drops.
The other cool thing is, like, when the sun goes down, like, these zombies, like, completely change.
Oh,
and it becomes a much more difficult game. Like, it looks freaking cool.
It's an odd game mythology. I'm not familiar with that. That's true.
I don't really know much about the game at all, but based off of the games that Warner Brothers seems to be trying to produce lately, especially like Bastion, I really think that they're actually really trying to up their production and likability in terms of the games that they've been producing lately. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see. I don't know enough about the game to give an opinion, though.
Okay, all right. Coming out 2014, what's the name of it again? Dying Light?
Dying Light.
Dying Light. All right. Any other news? Anything else we want to share?
PlayStation 4 release date announced.
What was that?
November 15.
15? Who's getting the PS4? I know I'm getting it. I'm getting it launch day.
Release date delivery from Amazon.
Yeah, same here. Did you see the new controllers? Okay, evidently you have not seen them.
I have not.
All right, there we go. Moving on. Any other news we want to share?
No, that's all I got.
Christian Hates Life and everyone else in it. We got that. Hugs around. All right, well, that about wraps it up here for PhoenixTV. Between now and our next podcast, look out for some more Let's Plays and some Metacraft and anything else we decide to do. So this is Dark Knight signing off, and have a good day.
See ya.